Let's go around the room and do a quick introduction, your name, the agency you work for, and your role.
Hi, my name is Angel Perez. I am with Community Action Partnership of Kern, and I am the Family Engagement Supervisor.
Hi, Angel.
Hello.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Hello, my name is Veronica Jones and I'm with SETA Head Start, and I am one of the program officers and I support our ERSI unit.
Hello, my name is Marsha Jackson, Early Learning Center Manager for Long Beach Unified School District Head Start.
Hi, my name is Carol Hendricks. I am the Enrollment and Attendance Manager for Community Action Partnership of Kern.
Welcome, everybody. I am Desiree Delzio. I am the creator and facilitator for the Managers Academy for Region 9. I am also the Chief Executive Officer for DE&C Consulting and have worked in education and Head Start for the past 34 years. And so I'm here with this amazing group of people who has gone through Cohort 2 of the Managers Academy, just to talk briefly about what you've learned and what you've experienced in the time that you've been with us. So tell me a little bit about what you found the most beneficial about the Managers Academy.
I found the most beneficial being able to be surrounded by other leaders that are not a part of my program, that's not so stereotypical, because although we work for the core of Head Start, we all come from different programs with different perspectives. So just having that flexibility of listening to peers and their expertise, and definitely working in groups, I feel that definitely strengthened my leadership, something I can go back and apply within my program.
Wonderful. One of our
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's one of our hoped outcomes, or one of our anticipated outcomes. So thanks, Marche.
I have two things that have made a very big impact on me. The first one is just like Marche said, being surrounded by other people, not just necessarily from our organization, and that has enabled us to like speak how we truly feel, not worrying about what they're gonna say or think about us, but being able to speak our mind and getting everyone else's opinion and yeah, how they feel about the situation. And also, as a new manager, I'll be going into my first year, but I've learned the difference between being a manager and a leader. So I've taken my role as just as a team player, um, not necessarily looking at my title, but being a team player and being the leader that my team wants. And without me expecting anything, they've been willing to be flexible with me. I asked, you know, all of a sudden a task to be completed the same day, and they take the task with a smile. So knowing the difference between a manager and a leader has made the biggest impact on me.
Wonderful. I love to hear that. Thank you, Angel. Carol and Veronica, any thoughts on that, or you want to expand on your peers' ideas?
I have learned so much. And it's nice to know that my challenges are not just my challenges. I see them out there, and the input from the others, so that way for me to get through my challenges is very, very valuable. And the things I am learning, I am using every day. And then sometimes are I'm surprised or needing that others need this program, because I live this every day. I use it when I'm talking to my staff to refocus myself, to communicate, and then sometimes I have to keep myself when I don't see other organizational people using these same techniques. It disappoints me. So I'm thinking, wow, she needs or he needs to go to the leadership academy, so that way we, and to constantly be sharing what I'm learning with my supervisors and my people that I supervise.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carol.
For me, some of the benefits that I could take away from the Managers Academy is, for one thing, sometimes within the group or some of the other academies, you probably were signed up by maybe someone else in leadership or another manager or director. I actually was like, I want to go to that Managers Academy. And it was
Yay.
because I heard a little bit about the Managers Academy from a couple of other coworkers that are within my agency, but they're not within my unit. And when they were talking about it, I was really envious. I'm like, why am I not there? And so I actually, really put forth to get myself signed up. And so when it came back around, I'm like, yay, it's coming around again. And I signed up. And just like everyone here said, wanting to be around other like-minded individuals that are yearning to learn a lot more of how to develop and hone our own skills in supporting staff, supporting units, and holding myself accountable and being reflective is a lot of the things that I kind of benefit from being within the group and listening to everyone to let me know that I'm not alone in some of the questions that I have when I'm questioning myself. Am I doing the right thing? Can I stretch myself a little bit more? Stepping out my comfort zone are things that I'm really learning to do. And they are a little bit scary, because it means that as you learn, you grow. So you're gonna have to change, and that's what's kind of happening to me. So I'm benefiting from enrolling within the Managers Academy because I can see myself changing as a leader, and also my leadership skills and practices that I'm putting in place with my unit. I'm seeing them develop even more and more. I know I have a long way to go because I'm a lifelong learner, but being within this cohort with everyone else this year has really been a big lift for me. And hopefully I'm inspiring the people that I supervise. And also, hopefully this will help me gain more confidence and holding people accountable that are even above my level, because we want to make sure we make good change for everyone within the agency that we work for.
I really appreciate everybody's comments on this and some of the primary components of the Managers Academy you have touched on. One of them, of course, being the opportunity to develop relationships with folks all over the nation and not just kind of being within the space of our own agency where we can sometimes tell the same stories over and over again, that we need to kind of shake it up a little bit. But also you've talked about the difference between leadership and management, exercising leadership in every direction of your organization, using it to empower you, not only with your staff, but to also identify opportunities for your peers and even your supervisors. So in addition to all of that, we've done a lot of reading. We've looked at trust, we've looked at dysfunction, we've looked at leadership, we've looked at diversity, equity, and inclusion, in addition to all of the robust dialogue that we've engaged in. So can you talk a little bit more about anything in particular around those topics that you have applied to your work already? So trust or dysfunction, addressing dysfunction, celebrating diversity, anything like that that you want to speak specifically to?
I want to just, go ahead.
Oh, right ahead.
I'm just going to just reflect on the very first book. I think the first book we were looking at was Trust Factor. And I really enjoyed reading that book, even with myself and just talking about it with the team members, because it was just really laying that foundation of just some of the basic things that you need for your agency, for your organization, for your companies. And what stuck with me really was the trust and identifying when it's not in certain areas and why certain people or even myself and others are acting a certain way. And I was like, as I was reading that area on trust, am I moving or navigating in an environment of trust? And why am I not sharing at certain times? Why is someone else, when I'm leading a discussion or a group, not sharing at certain times? And I can just reflect back on someone that was working with me, and they had mentioned, and it was at a conference. It was like we were in a conference, and she was telling the story about, how she couldn't share within a group. And I was like kind of sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm her supervisor,
Right, right.
And she was sharing this story, and as we left out, and then she had to pull me to the side, she's like, it is, I wasn't talking about our group. And I'm like, it's totally fine. I'm okay that you were sharing, because that'll benefit you. You shared your opinion, your thought. And she was just saying, I'm able to share now within the group that I'm in. It was the group that I was coming from that I almost didn't believe that you were, as you were asking these questions, really wanting to know my opinion on things, that it was really truthful. I really didn't trust it because it wasn't something that I had before. But how you are navigating through our unit, and asking questions, inviting people to share their opinions, the trust is being built. So that made me reflect. I'm like, wow, what I'm learning in my class, I'm really implementing it. But it's also a little bit of the person that I am, and I'm doing it. I just didn't recognize it myself. And so, now that I'm reading books, and I'm reading, a lot of the books that we were given, I'm starting to put, just titles and topics and names with things that we're actually doing. But trust, to me, is one of those grounding foundations. It allows us to, really be able to share out and be ourselves,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that was just really one of those strong points for me, is that building an environment of trust within, my team.
Yeah. Thank you, Veronica. Others on trust or other topics?
Veronica was talking about the readings of Trust Factor. I think my favorite was the 5 dysfunctions of a team. That allowed me to see where my dysfunctions are with my team are. And then it kind of made it, the book is so well to understand where everybody's coming from, that it helped me identify things, and then how to fix it, how to work with them, how to work with my staff. We, in my department, everything runs so fast that I had to settle down and say, things need to slow down. I need to be able to have the quality time to spend with my supervisors, and to be able to learn together with them. So, and be open with them. And that has increased the trust between my supervisors and myself. So we work together better as a unit.
Wonderful. That's great, Carol. Thank you.
And if I can add, for inclusion, equity, and diversity, this work that we are doing in our program has heavily been on inclusion, equity, and diversity. And so just what I have taken away from our reading and the culture of, our program that we're doing in this Managers Academy, I'm able to stand firm in my beliefs behind the equity, diversity, and inclusion. And really speak up and advocate for my teachers, because we're doing this work, but we're putting it out there, right? Equity, inclusion, diversity, but are we really applying it to our staff members and the things that they go through? For example, at one of my sites, we have our Head Start on the elementary school site, and our Head Start teachers were not able to park in their parking lot. So how is that equity? How is that inclusion? That's really setting a strong bias, and I was able to support my staff, just with confidence from the readings, that we had, and all of the talks we've had surrounded around that. So really being able to apply what I've learned in regards to that situation, and now they are able to park there.
Nice.
Yes.
And they deserve that parking space. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Marche.
So my favorite book was also The Trust Factor, the first one. I actually shared that some of my favorite parts in a team meeting, and one of my staff member, like, everything that I was saying so much that she wanted to buy it, and I actually lent her the book so that she can read it herself. And
Yes, wonderful.
most of the things that I've applied has really been, as I had previously shared, there's a staff member that has been with the agency for over 40 years. So it was really tough getting to her. She's seen it all. She's like, oh, here comes another supervisor. And I truly showed her that, you know what, I'm just not another supervisor that's coming in. Um, I've given her a voice. She participates. She has come around like dramatically. It was somebody that people would not really in the organization. Yes, they would really love enjoying being with her, but in the team setting, she would really like hide herself in a shell. She wouldn't participate
Mhm.
as much. So really getting to her with everything that I have learned has been the biggest impact. My team knows that they're not in a supervisor role. Like they believe that they don't have those leadership skills, but you share that me showing them those skills and me being the team leader, that they can grow those skills too, so that once they move on to, like, if they promote or move on to another organization, they could take those skills and now they're going to grow their team.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to make the biggest impact.
Yes. Yes, I think that the role of leaders, right, is to make more leaders. If people are going to grow in this work, they are most likely going to grow in their agency or in their community. And either we are going to have people who are highly adept when they get into supervisory or manager roles, or they're going to become our best allies in the community when they, if they choose to move on. And you've all brought up such important topics around trust and dysfunction and diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, all of these things that are such an essential component of the Managers Academy. And it's interesting because trust is sort of the foundation of everything, including how we treat each other in the Managers Academy, the time that we take to listen to one another, give each other a voice, get to know one another. Just the little things of being responsive and supportive. Because to Carol's point, the 5 dysfunctions for the lack of trust, lack of, or fear of conflict, lack of accountability, inability in inaction, and a lack of results. All of those things sit on top of trust. Without it, nothing above it is possible, including DEI and building our teams and building capacity. So that's wonderful. I love to hear that these things are making an impact. You've all sort of talked already about how so much of this is showing up in your work life, that, you're really living this work already. Is there anything else specifically about your performance in either your personal or your professional life that you feel like has really changed as a result of what you've learned, or improved or grown?
For me, I believe professionally, the last book, not our current book, the last book, through the leadership challenge, that I really gravitated towards was just the integrity part. Coming as a new manager in this position, I was just literally there months ago, with the people that I supervise, and just making that line of what I always reference as crossing over. I believe there's a different type of integrity that I need to really reflect on, just like Angel expressed too, and being a good leader and not just a manager. So that integrity piece really spoke to me, because I used to be a head teacher, so I was still over a center, and supporting them, but stepping into this role, I feel there's a different type of integrity I have to have and things like that. So that really spoke to me, just being able to reflect and say, this is, a best practice that I've read about and I'm learning about, and I see and I understand it all. And I want to make sure that I'm showing and reflecting that in my leadership.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I think for me, in your personal life, it makes a big impact. I mean, it teaches you, it helps you in communication with anything from your significant other, family members, just in a social setting, because it teaches you to listen and to um, give everyone a voice and be respectful of that voice. And other leaders are not just from work, but all over the place. So you get to learn to recognize that stuff, and it changes your perspective on things.
I couldn't agree more. I've been doing this leadership thing for 15 years, and I still feel like I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah,
Thank-
something that I would like also to discuss is showing your team that, sometimes you can be overwhelmed as well. Sometimes you don't know everything, and just letting them see that you can relate to them as well.
Yes.
They see you more as a as someone that they can trust if they email you or they call you and be like, hey, you know what, I really can't get this done by this date. You've already built that trust. You've already related with them that, not everyone's perfect, but having that communication and being willing to show that your vulnerable side, basically.
Yes. Yes. Not easy when we take on manager roles, and the paradigm is that we must have all the answers.
All right.
And sometimes we don't. Any thoughts on this, Veronica?
Yeah, I just wanted to also share my personal life. I'm definitely using everything that I'm learning with, my family, with my sons, even though, they're adults, but I'm, I am, I'm learning to yield some of my power as the
Mm.
mother. Because in my personal life, because sometimes I'm a parent, so that's an authority figure. So
Yes.
I don't always want to listen to what everybody has to say because I am right. I am the mother. I have those years of experience, but I'm learning to yield that so I can listen because everybody has input. Regardless of you're my son or you my sister or but also in my workplace, I've also learned to yield that power of just the position. I really don't have a lot of power, but however,
Mm.
people could see your position as the power. And when we're in meetings or we're discussing or strategizing different things that we can do within our unit, you want everyone in the unit to speak up, to have their voice. So by me, pulling back, just to allow that space, showing, like Angel mentioned, being vulnerable. Not all the time, it's kind of hard for me to do. I'm learning to do that. So, but also just showing that, I'm not perfect. And I have learned within the, I make a lot of mistakes, however, but I've learned in the last couple of months that if I share those, it wasn't always 100% on this, or that lets someone else know that if they make a mistake, hey, or if they have a shortcoming on a certain project, hey, let's talk that through. What happened there? Oh, you know what, that happens. So I can let them feel like it's not the end of the world. We're going to get through it. And then with that being said, that just continuously builds and instills that trust so we can move further. And like someone mentioned before, we have to continue to work with people and everyone around us, whether we are their supervisor or above us, just to make sure that we know we're all going in or reaching for the same goals. So within our agency, so we have to just make sure that everyone has like some sense of belonging and
Mhm.
making sure that people are showing up to work and just setting the environment to let them know they're like psychologically safe in the space.
Yeah.
somewhat, so we can navigate and move around and do the things that we need to do, and just empower each other. Because we always, well, I'm learning that I have to make sure that I am instilling in someone the practices and strategies and skills that they need to either, move beyond where they are. So I've kind of been hearing in some other areas that we have to kind of work with people and manage and also leader and provide leadership in ways for people that gear them for positions beyond where they're going to be,
Yes.
where they are right now, but where they can go in the future. And I've been doing a little bit of that here and there, and it just, it makes me feel good to see within my unit people kind of sharing, doing different things. So those are some of the things that I can really say that that I've been working to do within.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been in the Managers Academy.
That's wonderful from all of you. I mean, it's amazing because this stuff like really works. You know, when people think about like management and leadership sort of becomes this kind of like philosophy or this ideology, and it's really is a science. And there are things that we can do in practice, and they work. They really do work. Persistence, of course, is the key. And like Angel was sharing, some people take a little more to get through to, or we have to try different things with different people. But when we're consistent, we do bring the best out of others. And what else could we possibly want than the best out of the people we support, we serve, that we stand shoulder to shoulder with? So as you guys know, we're enrolling in Managers Academy Cohort 3 right now. That's going to be launching in July in about 6 weeks. And I'm just wondering if you had one thing to say to somebody who was thinking about joining the Managers Academy, what would you tell them is the benefit, or what's something you'd want them to know?
I would leave one piece of encouragement or advice to imagine the possibilities of learning, growing, being a lifelong learner, and being surrounded by other managers or leaders that are out there doing the same work. I definitely would encourage anyone that's interested to be a part of this academy. Although I was voluntold, I'm glad that I went through this experience. It has been life-changing for the work that I do every day with my teachers, my colleagues, my staff. I have recommended the books that we have read for our leadership in our program. We also do book reads as well. I have definitely advised for all of the books, any of them. I just think even if they read one, they can get a glimpse of what me and Vicente, which is also in this program, had the opportunity to experience. So I would definitely say, don't have any second thoughts. If you have the opportunity to volunteer or sign up, go for it.
Thank you.
It really tests you. Not only do you have your own responsibilities, but you're given other tasks to complete. So that is a really a really big task to complete. But at the end, it's all worth it. You gotta test yourself. You gotta know your own strengths, and you're gonna grow. I feel like I've grown so much from when we started up to this point, and I know I'll be taking more of everything that we've learned throughout the years. Also, you're in a group with other supervisors. You're broken up into groups, and everyone in here has a supervisory role. So when you meet, is who takes the role? Everyone wants to like
Be the
be
facilitator.
be the facilitator, so it really tests you like that too. So Marche is in my group. I am not surprised at all that she's in here as well with us. I think both of us have taken the lead in our group, and yeah, so it tests you, but it is all worth it at the end.
That's good to hear. Thank you. Veronica or Carol?
Thank you, Angel, for those kind words.
Of course.
Do you want to go first, Veronica?
You can, if you, I'm gonna let you have the, we're giving space, so.
We're also in the same group, Veronica and I. So, she's been a joy. She's been, what she says is just, I do learn from everything that she says as well. I look forward to hearing anything that she has her input for it. I think this academy has, it builds your confidence. It teaches you how to work with people. I feel good. And then using it and seeing the impact, you can see that it makes others feel good. So, and it raises their confidence as well. It makes you a stronger team. So, I talk about this academy when I'm in the office at work to a lot of people. I tell them about the books that I'm enjoying reading, to where I'm giving them the names and the titles, so that way they can also go out and purchase these books, and loan them out as well. So this was a great experience for me, and I appreciate that my agency volunteered me as well that I was a part of this. I got to be a part of this academy, so I'm thankful for it. So thank you, Desiree.
No, thank you, Miss Carol. You've been an excellent addition to our group.
And last thing that I can say, well, I use a slogan that change is inevitable, but growth is optional. It's by someone. I put it on like everything. I forget the name of the person. But however, it's just letting you know that as long as you're living, there's always going to be some changes, but it's your option to, if you're going to change and grow within that change. And so I really wanted to make sure that I was able to sign up for the cohort this time, because I constantly want change. I constantly want to be learning and growing in everything that I'm doing. And so I would lend that to anyone that's looking to grow within this leadership role, or their manager role, or their supervisory role, or they just want to be a good leader and provide good leadership to their team. You need to be in a community with other folks that are trying or striving for the same thing, and getting their feedback and getting their support, getting their reassurance. Like Carol said, it builds the confidence, and you're getting to hear from everyone. So it doesn't feel like, you're saying the wrong things and doing the wrong things, because we're all learning, and we're reaching out, and we're listening to each other and each other's feedback. So it makes us stronger as a community. And relationships, it helps us build those relationships that we need so much, to help everyone grow and go further in whatever that they choosing to do. So I would just say, if you are on the fence of, should I take that class or get into that cohort? Is it going to be too much work? Am I going to be nervous? Am I going to be able to get it done? I don't have enough time. Yes, it's going to be all of that. But however, it's going to be good work, and you're going to have a team that's going to support you getting the work done. You're going to have a community that's going to be supporting you and holding you up and listening to you. And the outcome is going to be that you're going to be able to grow, because the change is coming. And so you got to be ready for it. So I would say definitely enroll in the Managers Academy. So that's what I would
Thank you.
advise someone.
So you may or may not know this, but under the guidance and direction of the Region 9 Board of Directors, we developed this curriculum about a year and a half ago now. And everything that you have said about your experience, about what you took away, about what you'd give away to others to know about this, is everything we hope for and more. It has been such a pleasure to hear from you today and to listen to how you have grown and how you use this information. I hope that it goes without saying that you will always be a part of this community of the Managers Academy, and you'll always have an ally in each other, and of course in me, and all the work that you do. And I just can't say enough how much I appreciate your participation in this program and in our discussion today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.